Okay, what's going on with Astro Vans? What's going on with the numbers, man? Prices are crazy. In particular, all-wheel drive Astro Van. So I have one. I got an 04. Last 3 years, 03, 04, 05. That's what I'd be looking at. People like some of the older ones for other reasons. I like these because, 16-inch wheels, 6 lugs, 4-wheel disc brakes, better suspension, blah, blah, blah. Although the rear springs on these things are not great. If you're gonna carry a lot of weight or do a camper build out, you're going to want to do those. But the numbers are crazy. I paid up for mine. California car, no rust. I paid $7 grand for mine, and everything worked. And within weeks, I needed a new radiator. I needed a new hose. I had a PCV valve leak on the top of the motor I had to fix. Then other things happened, right? So engine mounts were an issue. My oil pan was rubbing the axle. You can't get engine mounts for these things. They sell them, but they're really for the two-wheel drive, and they're all garbage. The torque of the motor pulls that engine mount down pretty quickly right after you put it in. Mine lasted 2 days. Has solved that problem. I did some videos on it. You can go to those videos and see how to deal with it. And it had been towed. Had been used for towing, rather. So transmission went on me while I was on the road. I went for the Jasper transmission, so that cost me like $3,300. Still need to redo the rear springs on it, and new idler arms, axles, upper lower ball joints. All set. I probably got 13, 14 grand into this truck, including what I paid for it. And there's still things to do. Windshield cracked. Still want to build out the interior. And I'm not complaining. I love it. I think it's badass. I've driven it across the country twice, and not just a straight trip, all over the place. I've driven from here up into Colorado and back through Utah, and a bunch of long distance trips with it. It's awesome. I've put the S10 transfer case in it, so now it's 4-wheel drive. So it's 2-wheel drive all the time, so it's got a lot more power in 2-wheel drive, better gas mileage, finds the gearing better in the transmission. It's awesome. But the numbers I'm looking at are kind of crazy. I've got a friend back east. He's looking at one right now, and this is what I really want to talk about. He's looking at an Astro Van. I believe it's an 03. It's got less than 50,000 miles on it, and they're asking over $14,000. It's got a lift on it. It's got new tires. It's real clean. It's got exterior tire mount and a cool bumper on it. I called them up and talked to them. They're not going to offer a warranty on that thing. And it's everything under it's factory. And I asked, what about shocks even? He's like, well, he was kind of hesitant on that. I think it's probably got factory shocks. He said it didn't, but when I was looking underneath, I didn't see any new shiny shocks on it. I could be wrong about that. But here's the thing. You have to think about it. A vehicle that's, 17, 18 years old with less than 50,000 miles on it, that's not healthy. That's not a good thing. You get in that thing, that means it's been sitting. So all the seals and everything in that motor, they're dry. You get in that thing and you drive 80 miles an hour for 100 miles, is it going to hold up? I don't know. I don't know that I would trust that. So what to look for? Astro Van, all-wheel drives. Get underneath that thing, look at the oil pan in relation to the front axle. Because if that is probably touching, if it is, you're going to have to go through the engine mount issue. And, as far as visual stuff that you can see, that's the one thing you want to look for. You want to look at your CV axle, see if there's any grease under there. Look at the undercarriage. Is it dry? Is it wet? Is there any leaks? Is there any leaks on the ground? Is transmission leaking? Is the transfer case leaking? Common sense kind of stuff. Do those shocks look like they're factory? That's a problem. The catalytic converters, do they look factory? That could be a problem. All those things cost the money, and those are all things you can use to kind of work the numbers a little bit in your favor when you're talking to the person who's going to sell it to you. Mileage is a thing. People are getting, some people are getting 500,000 miles on this motor. A lot of the forums, people are getting 300,000 miles or more. So this V6 Vortec motor is no joke. All you got to do is change the oil in the thing, and it'll last you a long time. So what you want to do is talk to the person and see what kind of records they have. Has the ABS brake system sensor been replaced? Has the fuel pump already been replaced? How did they do it? Did they cut a hole in the floor? Are you okay with that? Or did they do it right and pull the tank and do it that way? You have to think about the money that you're spending. Because, look, people are asking. You know, $4 grand was a lot of money at one time, and now people want 7, 8, 10 grand, 14 grand. I mean, it's nuts. The vehicle is at an age where it's going to need a lot of new stuff, unless that stuff's been done. So, if you run across an all-wheel drive Astro van, in particular, one of the last 3 years, and it's got an ABS sensor done, it's got the fuel pump done, it's got a spider done to it, engine mounts are done, you know, tires are good, it looks good to you, and all that work's been done to it already, maybe it's not such a bad deal. Maybe it's not such a bad deal. If you're going to buy one that has very low mileage, it's super clean, and you should only be looking at these things if they don't have any rust on them. No point in investing money in a rust bucket. But if you're looking at one of these things and it hasn't had that work done to it, it's got low mileage, you're going to dump another $4 grand, $5 grand, $6 grand into this thing, replacing all those parts. That's what you need to be aware of. Now, if you've got the money and you just think the Astro van is cool, because it is cool, it might not be a big deal to you. But you shouldn't get upset about it. I already did a video where I talked about this. But I'm just saying, any vehicle that's that old that has very low mileage, and they're trying to use that as a selling point to get the number up on it, doesn't make any sense. That doesn't mean anything. You want to look for an Astro van that's got somewhere between like 180,000 and 250,000 miles. Like in that range, because it's going to have a lot of life left to it. And at those numbers, it's probably already had these other things replaced on it. That's kind of what you want to look for. And I guess that's it, you know, for now. And I hope that this helps. Those are the basic things to look for. Get on Facebook and look for the Astro Van groups on there. Most people are pretty helpful. Instagram's pretty cool. Astro Van Tribe, that's me. Hashtag Astro Van Tribe. I got to take more I see these things on the road everywhere I go in LA, and I should take more pictures, and we should get together sometime and go for a ride and do some camping or something. But that is all for now. Have a good day.